Hi everybody, it's Deborah from PeopleLovingAnimals.com. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching my video today. Today's video is called Why Do Cats Hiss? In today's video, we're going to talk about why cats hiss in general. We're going to talk about why cats hiss at people. We're going to talk about why cats hiss at each other or other cats. And in the process of figuring out why they're doing it, we're also figuring out how to prevent it or how to stop it from happening. So again, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you find it helpful, please give it a like. It helps YouTubers so much when you do that. Now, if you have not been here before, my name is Deborah. I own a website called PeopleLovingAnimals.com, and just about, well, several times a month, actually, I do videos all about the care and health and training of dogs and cats. So if you have a pet or more than one that you would like to receive continuous help with, I invite you to go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you on board. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Now let's go ahead and get into today's video. Now, we are on my website called PeopleLovingAnimals.com. I'm going to shrink my head down just a little bit more here. And we're going to use this article on the website called Why Do Cats Hiss? As kind of a guideline for today's video to keep me on track. I'm going to give you the link to this article in the description of in the description box below the video. So you're going to be able to click on this. You're going to be able to go ahead and read it if you want to. And I'll also give you the links to anything that we discuss in today's video. I'll give you the links to everything in the description box. So go ahead and relax. You can read this later if you want to, but you don't need to do that in order to enjoy the video. Okay. Now, like I said, we're going to talk about several things today regarding cats hissing. Most of us think that the reasons why cats hiss is because they're angry, they're mean, or they're extremely annoyed. But you may be surprised to learn that there are actually several reasons why a cat will hiss. And in this video, we're going to talk about why they hiss at people, and why they hiss at other cats. And we're going to talk about, again, figuring out why they're doing it tells us how to stop it. So I hope that you find this video helpful today. First of all, why do cats hiss? One of the first reasons is as a warning. This is the most common reason why a cat will hiss. A cat's hissing is most commonly a warning to another animal or a person, telling them to expect an attack if they don't back off. Okay, it's just a very simple, please stay away from me. Cats don't particularly care for confrontation, and they try to prevent it, and hissing is quite effective. Cats will typically hiss if they feel threatened in any way, such as when another cat intrudes on their turf, maybe a mother cat protecting her kittens. If your dog or the kids are getting too enthusiastic around the cat feels threatened, they'll hiss. That's usually why a cat will hiss, is because they're giving a warning that they're not happy with this, whatever's going on, and they're going to feel the need to attack if you don't stop. Okay. And we're going to talk about reasons in this video why your cat might feel that way. Okay, so hang on. We're going to get to the bottom of this. I promise you I'll be able to help with you today. Now, the other reason that they might hiss is changes. Cats do not do well with change. They like things to feel familiar and safe. So if something changes, like if you bring a new pet in the house, a new person, a new baby, the cat might feel anxious or threatened. So just be careful to realize the impact that changes have on your cat. Even a slight change, like changing the furniture around or moving their litter box, these sorts of things. Cats are quite sensitive, and that can upset your cat, and it makes them feel anxious, it makes them feel threatened, and they'll hiss. Okay, so if you're going to make any sort of changes, obviously we can't prevent all changes from taking place, but if there is any sort of a change in your household, in your cat's environment, just try to be conscious of how that might be affecting your cat. Okay, cats will hiss obviously if they're in pain. If you try to come near them, if you try to touch them and they're hissing, you're going to want to call the vet right away, especially if you have a cat that cannot be touched, or especially if this is happening suddenly. Like normally your cat is fine with you approaching, they're fine with you picking them up, whatever. If they're all of a sudden hissing, you might want to call the vet to see if the cat might be having some sort of problem, because hissing is automatic, if they're in pain. And also, they may be annoyed. Some cats don't like to be picked up. Some cats don't particularly enjoy being petted. Or it may be that your cat just isn't in the mood at that particular moment to be picked up or petted. Cats will often hiss at small children who are too enthusiastic about touching, petting, and picking them up and don't know when to back off. So be sure to teach your children how to be respectful of cats and take steps to protect your cat if there are unfamiliar children around. Okay? It can be quite stressful for a cat. This is not a cat story, but I had a little miniature dachshund named Taz, and if you've been here before, you've heard me talk about her, and I used to take her for walks all the time. Well, Taz was a dachshund, and every time we went anywhere, inevitably some child would yell, "There's a wiener dog!" You know, kids just particularly love this wiener dog. They think wiener dogs are so cute, and I was absolutely just so shocked at the number of parents that would let their kids rush my dog. Now, first of all, Taz was clearly an elderly dog. She had a gray face. Now, she had a gray face when I adopted her. So the whole time I had Taz, she was a senior dog. So you'd think that that might be a clue to a parent that maybe you shouldn't let the kids rush this dog. And I was just always in shock at how, frankly, ignorant parents were. Number one, to allow their child to rush my dog, come up, try to pet them, they got their hands all over the dog. And number two, why aren't they protecting their child? My dog could have very well bitten them. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of a sore subject with me when I mention, please teach your kids how to be respectful to animals. And if somebody else's kids are around, take steps to protect your pet, okay? Another reason a cat might hiss is stress. Like I've said, cats do tend to be quite sensitive. They will get stressed out easily. If you think your cat might be stressed out, I'm going to give you a link to this article and also a video. Cat stress relievers, 10 things that stress your cat out. I think the video is called "Why is Your Cat a Nervous Wreck?" And that goes over 10 of the most common things that will stress a cat out. So if you have a cat who is hissing, that might be one of the first things you want to look at. Go ahead and watch that video because you might be surprised at some of the things that will upset a cat and cause them to get upset. They get upset, they feel threatened, they're afraid, they're nervous, anxious, and that will cause them to hiss. So I'm going to give that to you as an additional resource. Now, cats don't cope well with stress, and they will protect themselves by using their fight or flight instincts. This can include hissing, running away, in some cases even attacking or fighting. Okay? If someone is being too rough, a cat will hiss. And, you know, just like with people, that's what is considered rough is in the eyes of the cat. You know, one cat might like you to get on the floor and wrestle with them. Another cat might be terrified by that. So, you know, just follow the cue of the cat. You know, how is the cat responding? This is especially common in young kittens. If their litter mates are playing for too rough, they'll hiss at their litter mates. So if your cat is hissing at you or your kids or another pet in the home, consider whether the cat is being handled too roughly. And again, one cat might not have a problem with it. Maybe this cat does have a problem with it. And also keep in mind, I think I mentioned it later in this article, keep in mind if your cat is elderly or if your cat is becoming elderly, you know, maybe they're not as tolerant as they used to be. You know, elderly cats will have, you know, pain, they'll have aches and pains, they'll have joint pain, they'll have arthritis. So maybe what they were up for even 6 months or a year ago, they might not be up for now. You know, so if the cat is hissing, it might just be uncomfortable. They're getting older, they don't want to be bothered, you know. So in case I forget to mention it later, always be extra aware of a senior cat and how things might be affecting them. Okay. Also, your cat might need more exercise. Cats need to have a sufficient amount of exercise every day, just like everybody else, especially if they're young. If your cat seems uptight, for lack of a better word, you might try playing with your cat more often or providing interactive cat toys. I'm going to give you a link in the description box for a whole selection of interactive cat toys on Amazon. And what I mean by interactive is they're toys where the cat doesn't need anybody to play with. You know, like, for example, example, have you ever seen one of those little rings where there's a little ball that goes around, and the cat just hits it? So the thing is moving without anybody playing with the cat. So if you can take, make sure you're spending enough time playing with your cat. If you can't afford cat toys, if you don't want to just go spend your money on cat toys, I have yet to meet a cat who can resist a bird feather tied to a string. That can be like the best cat toy. In just a few minutes in the living room, just letting your cat chase a little bird feather on a string, that might be enough cardio, that might be enough exercise to help that cat kind of deal with his pent up energy or his pent up anxiety. Just consider it. Just ask yourself whether your cat might need some more exercise or some more playtime, right? Now, let's talk specifically why cats hiss at people. Now, you may have already figured out that some of the reasons cats hiss in general are also the reasons that cats hiss at people, and they're also the reasons why cats will hiss at other cats. But there are specific reasons, for example, why a cat will hiss at people. A cat will hiss at humans for some of the reasons that we've already discussed, but more specifically, a cat hisses at people to communicate that there is a problem. Now, this doesn't have to be anything that you're doing at that particular moment. It could be a way to express their disapproval with the situation in general, okay? For example, like we said, something new. If you bring home a new pet, a new baby, if you're moving, the cat may just start hissing to communicate that they're just not happy. They're just not happy. And I shouldn't laugh about this because it's really not funny, but several years ago, my sister was moving and I went over to help her move. And you know how it is. It's like a Saturday and all the friends are there and everybody shows up with their vehicles and, we're having like a moving party or whatever. So there's all this chaos. Everything's in boxes and their poor cat. The cat's name was Greta. And she was so beautiful. She was like a long-haired calico. They had her for years. She was a beautiful cat. Her name was Greta. And she was kind of hiding out, and she's hiding in the corner, and then she would bolt across the room, and she would find a safe corner, and somebody would go over there. The cat was having a fit. And I remember my sister's brother-in-law looked at the cat, and he looked at me, and he goes, "Somebody should tell the cat we're moving." And again, this really isn't funny, but it just struck me funny the way he said that. But again, if your cat's like hissing, it might just be that they're communicating to you. They're not happy with the situation, and it might be a variety of things that might be happening. Again, it's not funny. If your cat is hissing, you need to take it seriously because if the cat is upset, it's not a good thing for anybody. They also might be hissing because of fear, especially for cats who have not been properly socialized. They might just be afraid of people. If someone visits your home or if you take the cat to the vet, for example, you might have a cat that is just afraid of people. And, it doesn't even really matter in some ways what kind of a cat parent you are, because I've had cats, some of them, for example, I had a tomcat named Myron who anybody would come over and Myron was woohoo, a party. Like Myron was very sociable. He was so excited whenever anybody would come over, even if he never saw the person in his life. His sister, who came from the same DNA and was raised by the same parent, me, was absolutely terrified when anybody came over, even if she had met the person 500 times, so it kind of depends on the cat. And if you have a cat that is afraid of people, just don't force it on them, just don't force it on them. They might just be afraid of people and it's okay, Also, one of the reasons that a cat will hiss at people is aggression. If your cat is aggravated by any source, whether it's another animal, if it's kids, if it's a change in the household, or even a loud sound, they'll sometimes redirect that aggression by hissing at you. It's just like when a person has had a bad day at work and they come home and take it out on their spouse. Okay, you understand? It's just aggression. They're unhappy for whatever reason and they're bitching, they're snapping, they're being snarky, they're hissing at you. Just like I said, your spouse comes home from work, they had a bad day, they take it out on you. It could be that. Again, you need to take a look at the reasons. Why is this cat unhappy? What is it that is upsetting the cat? Another reason why cats will hiss at people is physical contact intolerance. As we mentioned earlier, some cats will sometimes hiss if they're not in the mood to be picked up or petted or if they're in pain. But for some cats, they may not want to be touched due to a traumatic event in their past. And some cats even have a natural aversion to touch. They'll hiss if they just literally can't tolerate physical contact. Okay, so especially if, first of all, if you adopt a stray cat or a feral cat, they're going to have an aversion to human contact. They aren't familiar with it. They're not going to like it. If you have a cat that comes from a shelter of any sort, you don't know what that cat's history is. You don't know whether cat was abused. You don't know if they were treated roughly by their past owners. You don't know if they came from a household full of kids that thought it was fun to torture this cat. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't know where that cat came from and what sort of experiences that cat might have had. But even if it's your cat and it's never had a home prior to yours, like I say, some cats just don't want to be physically touched. You know, they don't like it. And, so just, again, just be aware of that particular cat and how they are responding to being touched or petted or picked up, okay? Another reason why a cat might hiss at people is because they're protecting their territory. Cats typically will hiss at other cats or other pets or people if they think their territory is being invaded. And it might be if you're approaching something that they perceive as being theirs, like their food dish, their litter box, their cat bed. They might even hiss at you if you try to move them off the furniture. If they feel like that end of the couch is their territory and you're like trying to push in on some place or some area of the home or some actual thing that they perceive as belonging to them, they might hiss, again, to communicate to you that they're not happy with you interfering with this. Do you understand? Now, before you take everything I'm saying and decide that your cat is a jerk, please just hang on till the end of the video, because I think that by the end of the video, you're going to have a lot of compassion for why your cat might be hissing. And that's my goal anyway, in doing this video, is helping people to understand why the cat is hissing and having compassion and understanding why the cat is doing it, so that you can either get it solved or prevent it from happening. Or accept it if you have to accept it and just leave the cat alone. Again, I'm getting ahead of myself, but just hang with me. Now, why do cats hiss at other cats? First of all, they feel threatened. Cats will hiss at another cat when they feel threatened. It's a way to communicate to the other cat that they need to stay away. Most cats are not aggressive by nature. They just don't enjoy confrontation. So if they're hissing at another cat, approaching is their way of avoiding the confrontation by simply letting the other cat know that they don't want to be approached. All right, the cat's not sitting there quietly coiled up in the corner waiting to attack that other cat. No, he's giving him a fair warning. He's hissing, "Get away from me." He's giving him a warning shot. Get away from me. Because he doesn't want the fight. He doesn't want the confrontation. But at the same time, this cat has come around, and for whatever reason, it's making your cat feel threatened or fearful or anxious or territorial, and he wants the other cat away, so he'll hiss. Tomcats will hiss because they're fighting over a girl. An unneutered male will hiss at another unneutered male if there's a female around. They're just literally fighting over the girl. Okay. If you have a tomcat that is unneutered, I'm guessing you probably have a whole slew of behavioral issues with the tomcat. They can be quite a handful when they're not neutered. So unless you have a specific reason where you want your tomcat to father a litter of kittens for whatever reason, it really is to their benefit and to yours to have them neutered. And, they might be urinating in the house. They might be spraying. They might be being aggressive. They might be hissing at you or the kids or whatever. And sometimes if you have an unneutered male, talk to your vet, and your vet will probably tell you the cat will settle down and be more manageable if you have them neutered. So that's just my 2 cents. Another reason why a cat will hiss at another cat is stress. Your cats will hiss at each other if they're stressed out, just like your kids will start to fight if something stressful is going on in the house. They'll turn on each other just like kids will. You know, you and your husband have a fight, you're moving, you know, grandma just moved in, you know, whatever it is, the house is upset, there's stress, the kids start going at each other. It's the same thing with your pets. Your pets will start to fight as well. A lot of cats will hiss and fight with other cats if they don't want to share. Cats can be very territorial. And again, before you decide that your cat is a jerk for being territorial, realize it's an instinct for your cat. You know, they come from the wild. They need to protect their food. They need to protect their babies. They need to protect their home. They're going to fight for what's theirs. They've come from generations of ancestors who had to fight for what was theirs. So, you know, they're not being a jerk. It's just their natural instinct to protect what they have. So some cats will hiss if they don't want to share their food and water bowls, if they don't want to share the litter box, if they don't want to share the scratching post, their toys, or their bed. They'll even hiss at each other if they don't want to share you. Okay, so that's a whole mouthful that I just said in this one little paragraph. Consider if your cat is hissing, is there something he doesn't want to share? If he's hissing at the other cat, does he hiss when that cat approaches the food dish? Does he hiss at the cat when he approaches the litter box? Does he hiss at the other cat when he approaches you? And just, you might be able to identify something that the hissing cat is not willing to share. Well, that's easy to solve. You get him his own. I'm going to give you a video. I mentioned it further down in the article. I'm going to give you an article and also a video about how to keep cats from fighting. And that goes over all the reasons why cats will fight with each other. And that talks more specifically about if you have two cats fighting over the litter box, you need two litter boxes. If you have cats fighting over the food bowl, you need to give them each their own food bowl. Do you see what I mean? That's just like step one out of what to do if you have two cats fighting. So again, I'm going to give you a link to that article and video in the description box. If you feel like your cats are fighting and hissing at each other because they're not sharing well, okay? Another reason why a cat, is actually the most common reason why a cat will hiss at another cat, is territorial issues. They'll always hiss at each other if they feel the other cat is intruding on their territory in any way. Any change in territory can cause the hissing, even if furniture is moved, if the location of their litter box changes, if a new pet or new family member is added to the house, any kind of change in, like, think of it from the cat's point of view. The cat's like, okay, what areas of this house are mine? What areas of this house are safe? Where do I sleep? Where do I eat? Where do I go to the bathroom? They've already claimed all that, and they feel comfortable and safe and familiar in everything that they perceive as theirs. So if any change happens in the house that changes any one of those things, they might feel threatened by that. They might feel territorial. And again, they're going back on their instincts, and they're fighting for it, you know, in the form of, in this case, hissing. They may feel vulnerable. If your cat is in pain or has been injured, they're going to feel vulnerable if another cat approaches. So again, if your cat is suddenly hissing at another cat, you might want to take the cat to the vet or check out the cat and see, is this cat in pain? Like, why is he suddenly hissing at the other cat? Okay. There's an interruption in my article here, so I'm going to use it to interrupt the video briefly to invite you to go ahead and sign up for my cat lovers email list. If you are signed up for that, about once a week or so, you will get an email from peoplelovinganimals.com, and it'll be all about cats. It'll be about the health and care and training of cats. It'll either be a blog post or an article or a video. I think you'll find it valuable. You can unsubscribe at any time if you don't. And when you sign up for that with the link I'm giving you in the description box, I'll send you a cute little ebook about stopping bad cat behavior that you might find helpful. So I'm happy to give that to you as a free gift for subscribing to the Cat Lovers email list. Now here, like I said, is the article. If your cat's hissing is actually leading to fighting with other cats, I invite you to watch the video, How to Keep Cats from Fighting. I'm going to give you a link to it. And again, that talks about why, a lot of the reasons why cats will fight and what you can do about it, okay? By the way, I also have a video on my YouTube channel under the cat training playlist called How to Break Up a Cat Fight. So if you're really having a problem here and your cats are actually fighting, I do have that video as well to tell you how to safely break up a cat fight. Now, what to do if your cat is hissing? First of all, realize it's normal. Well, let me backtrack a little bit. You might have already, even by this point in the video, come up with some ideas on what to do about your cat hissing, because hopefully you might have said, hey, wait a minute, what? You know, like you might have realized that, oh, I bet you this is why she's hissing, or I bet you that's why. You know, you might already have some solutions just based on what we've learned so far. What we've talked about is to why the cat might be hissing. But hang with me, because I'm going to give you a little bit more advice here. What to do if your cat is hissing? First of all, realize that it is normal. Hissing is a perfectly natural form of communication for a cat. Never punish your cat for hissing. This will most likely make whatever is causing it worse. Okay, I'm not going to review all the reasons we've just talked about why a cat would hiss. You've already heard them, and you know that whatever those reasons are, if you're punishing your cat for hissing, it's only going to make it worse. Okay, it is a way for a cat to communicate, so it is normal. Okay. Give your cat some space. If your cat is hissing at you or other people, you need to give the cat some space in order to prevent an attack. Beware and teach your children to take note of a cat's body language before trying to pet them or pick them up. If their ears are flat back, if they're trying to get away, if they're growling, or if they're hissing, you need to back off. Okay, don't force it, because you know what? If you've ever been scratched or bitten by a cat, it's no joke. And it's not the cat's fault. You know, if a cat had their ears back and they were growling, and especially if they were hissing, and you or a child approached that cat anyway and gotten bitten or scratched, you know, the cat gave fair warning. I'm sorry, but I'm on the cat's side on that. But again, just teach your kids and pay attention to the cat's body language. And if the cat is hissing, first and foremost, give the cat some space to prevent anybody getting hurt, okay? Also, provide an escape for your cat. Again, fight or flee. If the cat can't get away, he's going to fight. It's their natural instinct. It's always a good idea to provide a means of escape as well as hiding places for a cat. Remember, in the wild, cats are seen as prey. All right. It's their natural instinct to run away or hide. So be sure to provide them with a safe place to go if they feel threatened, afraid, or stressed. A high cat perch placed in a quiet corner will work well for your cat to escape and get some peace and quiet. I'm going to give you a link to Amazon to an assortment of cat perches. Okay, so you know what I mean by those like tall carpeted scratching post things? A cat perch, and then on the top they have like a flat thing, and cats like to lay on those. Sometimes you'll see them in people's windows. Well, you know, the cat is generally the only living being in your household who can jump 10 feet straight up in the air. You know what I mean? So if they have a high cat perch and you approach, or the kids approach, or the dog approaches, or somebody come over, they can jump up onto that high cat perch in a second. It's an escape for them. And then they can sit up there, and they're safe from everything. So they can sit up there and feel like they can have some peace and quiet. So always provide an escape for your cat. Never corner a cat. Never make a cat feel cornered or trapped, because like I say, in the wild, they are perceived as prey. So it will make a cat extremely uncomfortable if they feel like they can't get away. One of the things that we talk about in the Why is Your Cat a Nervous Wreck video is if your cat won't use it might be in Why Won't Your Cat Use the Litter Box video. But the point is, if you put your cat's litter box in a corner, there's no way for the cat to escape if he's in the litter box and somebody comes up to the litter box, if the dog runs by. Do you know what I mean? The cat might feel vulnerable trapped in that corner. So you never want to corner your cat. You always look at it from the cat's perspective, where their litter box is, where their bed is, where their food is. Can they get out of there? All right. And that's going to help calm your cat down a lot. If your cat always feels like he can escape, if he always feels like there's some quiet place in the house that he can go, or a way to get away if he feels stressed out. Okay. Also, give your cat respect. The best thing that you can do for cats, whether they're hissing or not, is to respect the fact that cats can be temperamental, they can be easily stressed, sensitive, and they can often feel anxious or afraid. Most cats simply want to feel safe, they want to have their own space, and they'll come to you for attention and interaction only when they feel like it. Most cats don't enjoy the activity level of small children. Some cats don't enjoy being around other animals, and senior cats deserve even more space and respect, as they will have even less tolerance for things that bother cats in general. So just let the cat live and be. Do you know? Accept it for what it is. If your cat is hissing, take it for what it is. It's a simple communication that they are not in agreement with whatever is happening. Use the reasons for cats hissing that we have discussed in this video to try to eliminate the things that might be upsetting your cat, but then just respect the cat's right to live and be as they wish. If the cat doesn't want to be petted all the time, don't try to pet him all the time. If the cat doesn't want to be picked up, if the cat doesn't want to share the litter box, you know what I mean? Like, just decide that your cat has the right to live his little kitty life however he wants to. All right. So just your best bet is to just try to accommodate the cat. Again, try to have compassion for the cat and understand why cats feel the way they do, why they react to things the way they do. You don't have to run your whole life and household all for the benefit of the cat. But, you know, your cat is living there. It's your choice to have the cat. And so I just think it's just decent and courteous and kind to try to make your home a place where your cat feels safe and secure and unthreatened. Now, I hope that this has helped. Let me tell you a little couple of things. I'm going to give you 2 resources for really good cat training. If you feel like you're having issues with your cat, if you feel like you need more actual cat training than what we talked about in today's video, if hissing is not the only behavioral issue you're having with your cat, I can give you 2 recommendations. One is called ultimatecatsecrets.com. This is a 12-part audio program. It's only $37. It comes with a 100% money back guarantee. And that program, it comes in 12 parts and it covers virtually everything you need to know about owning a cat. It's not just cat training, it's everything about cats. And I personally think anybody who owns a cat would benefit by this program. So I'm going to give you the link to that. I'll also give you a link to my full review of that. And the other program is specifically cat training, and it's called the Complete Cat Training Guide. It's from kingdomofpets.com. This one also happens to be $37, and it comes with a 100% money back guarantee. Now, this is an ebook, and it is jam-packed with information on how to solve 25 real-life cat behavior problems. It's a really good, and it's a very thorough cat training program. So again, if you're having problems with your cat that you feel like you need more like professional help with, I invite you to go ahead and try one of those cat training programs, and hopefully it will get you to the level of help that you need with your cat. Again, be patient with your cat. Never punish your cat for hissing. It'll only make it worse. Always be kind to your cat. Never hit your cat. Never yell at your cat. Remember that cats are highly intelligent animals, and I feel like it's our job as pet owners to understand why our pets behave the way that they do and to take logical, effective steps to stop or prevent any unwanted behavior. I hope that this video has helped to just maybe give you some ideas that maybe you didn't already think of about what's upsetting the cat, why is the cat hissing. And I would love it if you would come back and comment in the comment box and let me know how you made out with some of these tips, or if you have more tips to share that you found to be successful with stopping your cat from hissing or finding out why your cat was hissing. I would love it if you would come back and share that in the comment section so that people watching this video in the future can benefit from your experience. If you've been here before, you know I donate to animal charities. I am an affiliate marketer. I do peoplelovinganimals.com as my job. And the way that I do that is I search for products and services that I want to recommend to my subscribers, and I mention them in my videos, in my blog posts, things like the cat toys. I'm giving you a link for Amazon, the pet training programs. I research which ones I want to recommend, and then I apply to become an affiliate for those companies. And so if you click on my links and you purchase these things, I get a small commission. And then I donate 10% of all of those commissions to animal charities. And if you go to the homepage of my website, peoplelovinganimals.com, you will see a list of the animal charities that I donate to. So just a couple of things before we leave. First of all, thank you so much for sticking with me this long. And if you have, I would appreciate it if you would, well, obviously you have, or you wouldn't be listening to me right now. I would appreciate it if you would go ahead and give the video a like. Like I said, it really helps YouTubers when you do that. In the description box of today's video, I'm going to give you a link to that article we've just used for this video. I'm going to give you a link to Amazon for the interactive toys and also for the cat perches. I'm going to give you a link to the articles and videos I talked about cats fighting, things that are stressing your cat out. I'll give you the links to those things, and I'll also give you the links to both of those cat training programs that I mentioned to you. And I'm also going to give you that link to go ahead and sign up for the Cat Lovers email list if you would like to. And again, I'll give you that little free gift of the little cat behavior guide as a free gift for subscribing. Speaking of subscribing, if you're not already a subscriber to this channel, and again, if you would like help with your animal on a continuous basis, I would love to have you on board as a subscriber. And please share my channel with your family and friends who have a pet, because they might have issues with their dog or cat that they need help with as well. So again, thank you so much for watching. I hope that the video was helpful. Good luck to you and your little kitty. Thanks so much. Again, my name is Deborah, and my website is peoplelovinganimals.com. Thanks again. Bye-bye.